Hi guys, in this video, I'm going to be talking about why you should never hire a media buyer as a beginner, as a social media marketing agency owner. So guys, if you're new to the SMMA space or you've been in the SMMA space a long time and you've listened to certain creators, this is going to be very foreign to you and you're probably going to think, well, why is Harry saying the complete opposite of what most people say on YouTube? And this is actually a topic that I'm super passionate about, and I talk about it all the time in the talks I do, in the academy, on live calls, and on this channel. So if you're new to the channel and you like this style of content, really raw, really straight to the point, from someone who's actually running a social media marketing agency, a very successful one in 2023, then this channel is going to be for you, because we produce content like this every single day. So why you should never hire a media buyer as a beginner agency owner, on day one. So if you don't know what a media buyer is, guys, essentially a media buyer is just someone who runs the ads for your business, for your agency, and they'll essentially run the ads for your clients' businesses. So you'll sign a client for running Facebook ads for a dental practice down the road. This is what people tell you to do. You'll then hire someone in India. You'll hire someone in London, wherever they are. Usually it's somewhere like India, to run the ads for that client. And then you sit back and do nothing. So they'll pay you the client will pay you 1,000. You'll pay the media buyer 500. You'll sit back and just take 500 and try and scale your agency that way. And that's the way that lots of gurus over the past 4 or 5 years have taught SMMA. That's the business model. However, I strongly disagree with that, and it goes against everything that I teach in the academy. It goes against everything Tom and I talk about on this YouTube channel for many, many different reasons. And in this video, I want to go through why people do that, why people think it's okay to do that, and why they shouldn't feel like it's okay to do that. So why does someone feel it's okay to start an agency today, hire a media buyer today, sign a client, and just palm off that service delivery to that client? One, because they feel like they can leverage their testimonials. So one of the biggest problems when you start a social media marketing agency is a client will come to you and say, Harry, what previous work have you done? And people think if I sign a media buyer, I can use the testimonials that they've got and say to the client, these are the testimonials I've got, which in theory you can do. However, what comes with this is so many problems. Now, if you're an agency who just wants to sign a client, get £1,000 out of them, and then lose them after month one, I'm not going to say go ahead and do that, because I strongly disagree with doing it. But there's nothing I can stop you. I can't stop you from doing that. That's what a lot of people do, because they have no interest in growing a brand. They have no interest in, looking after the client that they sign, looking after the client's money that they're taking. All they care about is quick cash, moving on to the next one. And like I say, I can't stop you doing that. All I can do is tell you the correct way to do it if you want to run a social media marketing agency for the next 10 years and grow a business to 100K a month, because you are not going to find a social media marketing agency on this planet that earns 100K a month outsourcing all of their work from day one, and the owner and the salespeople know nothing about the service delivery, because that's what these guys are teaching. People are teaching, and there's courses out there where you can buy a course and they teach you how to sign a client, find a media buyer, outsource that work, and there is zero service delivery in that course. And there's so many YouTube channels that do the exact same thing, where the people that are starting the social media marketing agencies in 2023 have never learned service delivery. They've never learned how a Facebook ad runs. So one, I don't know how these people are even signing clients, because in client meetings and in sales calls, you get asked technical questions, and you need to go into the technicalities of the service you're delivering, because especially in 2023, where 90% of the clients that you'll get on a call with understand Facebook ads. So if they're more knowledgeable about Facebook ads than you are, they're just gonna think you're an infant and you have no idea what you're talking about. 3 years ago, when a lot of the sales meetings you were getting on was more positioned about teaching them how Facebook ads work and what Facebook ads are, you could probably get away with it a bit more. Hence why these gurus and the people teaching this had an agency 3 years ago and they don't have one today, but they're still teaching it, because they have no idea how the landscape of SMMA has changed, which is not unusual, because so many people don't, because most people don't run an agency that they say they do. There's very few that do. So like I say, why do people do it? They're lazy. They don't want to invest the months and the money into learning how this service delivery works. They just want to sign a client, palm it off over there, sit on a beach and skim $500 off the top each month. But newsflash for you, that's not a long-term play in this business. Yeah, you can earn a few $1,000s by doing that, but the word's going to spread and you're really going to struggle to grow a brand. What drives me up the wall even more, guys, is the messages I receive on Instagram from people who have learned this from other people. So they'll message me and say, Harry, I've just signed a client. Where do I find a media buyer? And when I read these messages, I kid you not, I'd look at that and I have to laugh at the screen. How can you take money off a client when you don't know the service delivery? So even when you sign a media buyer, you're not going to be able to manage him, because how can you manage someone when you don't understand what you're managing? It's like Man United hiring a new football manager when he doesn't know the rules of football. How can he manage a professional football team when he doesn't know the rule? He doesn't know the offside rule. He doesn't know how many players are on a pitch. That's the same thing that's happening in the agency space. People are signing a client and they have no idea how a Facebook ads run, but then they're expected to manage a media buyer and answer the questions of a client. For example, a client, if you're outsourcing all of that work, a client could very easily ring you up and say, Harry, no leads this week. What's happening with the ads? Why are no leads coming through? And you're going to be like, yeah, I don't even know how these leads are coming in. I don't know how you're even seeing the leads, because I don't know how service delivery works. Let me just ring my media buyer in India, who's 7 hours behind me in time zone, and get back to you in a day's time. And the client's going to go, oh, so you don't know how you've spent $1,000 of my money and got no results? Yeah, that's correct. Well, that's going to go down well, isn't it? But that's what we're seeing, guys. This is what's happening every single day. And this is why when people ask me, is SMMA saturated, which I'm going to do another video on very shortly, I say yes, it's saturated with those types of people, but it's completely unsaturated with people like Tom and I, people like probably you guys watching, because a lot of you guys that watch this channel have the same mindset when it comes to business than I do, and all of our academy members. And I say to them all the time, if you can just be ethical and actually have an agency that's worth talking to, you're going to stand out so easily, and there's going to be an abundance of business for you. But if you're doing this outsourced crap and get rich quick schemes and just trying to take clients' money, no interest of giving them actual results, then yeah, it's the most saturated business on planet Earth. So that's kind of my thoughts on it, guys, why you should never do it. What I recommend you doing, if you're sat there on day 1 or day 50 of starting a social media marketing agency and you've been looking for a social media buyer to run your ads for you, don't do that. Spend the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, binge watching YouTube, take a course, whatever you want to do to learn. There's loads of different methods to learn for free, or if you want to pay for a mentor, whatever you want to do, just invest the 4 to 5 weeks, because then even after that 5 weeks, you still do the media buy stuff, which I don't think you should do. I recommend everyone taking their agency to 6, 7, 10K a month on your own as almost a freelancer, and then build your team. I don't see there any better way of running your social media marketing agency than that, because then you learn every part of the business. You can employ people better, you can manage people better, and just spend that 4 to 5 weeks doing it. Because then even if you have, say, 60% of the knowledge you need, then hire a media buyer, you're going to be in a 50x better position to manage that media buyer and oversee it, because you don't want to hire a media buyer, log into the ad account and not know what's happening, because then you can't point out problems. For example, if you go on and see a click-through rate of the ads that have been running for 2 weeks of 0.2%, and you don't understand what a good click-through rate is, or a good cost per click, or a good cost per lead for that particular industry, you're not gonna notice that. Whereas if you did understand that stuff, which is very easy to learn in 4 to 5 weeks, you can ring that media buyer up and say, right, what's happening? These ads have been left up. Because otherwise you're never going to know what the difference between a good media buyer and a bad media buyer, because so many people can fake results. A media buyer in India could send me a screenshots of an ad account that he's found on the internet, waffled a bit about it, and say, right, I got these results for a hair transplant clinic down the road. Let me manage your high ticket hair transplant clinic clients in London. And there's no way of me telling whether that's legit or not. So it's very easy to hire a media buyer that's going to deliver shit results, which is then going to give you a shit brand to the client that's paid you money. And it's all going to go tits up, because you're just too lazy to just spend 4 to 5 weeks on actually learning the service that your whole business relies on. It's crazy I even have to say that, but yeah, it's super, super important, guys. If you have been doing that media buyer stuff and you want to transition to actually learning it yourself and take your agency to 10K a month by yourself and then hiring a team, We have our academy, guys. Click the link in the description. There's a 23-minute video on there. If you've been interested or you've been contemplating potentially joining the academy, but you just have a few questions, message me on Instagram, Harry_SMMA, and I can answer any of your questions for you. Go back and forth on a voice note, and just get you enrolled on your way so you can be on the next live call with us. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, guys. Please subscribe. We're back posting every single day at 9 a.m. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.